Welcome to opening day at Three Rivers Stadium for tonight's game between the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dwight Gooden takes the mound for the New York Mets. He'll be opposed by Rick Russell for Pittsburgh. It's 62 degrees, wind speed 7 miles per hour, in from left center field, and we have light rain. But it's not a bad day to start our 1986 New York Mets replay, everyone. This is RJL 518 welcoming you here to the first game of this replay. The Mets had played just one game against the Pirates early in the season to start it off because there was a lot of rain pretty much in that area. So we're going to play ball as we take a look at Three Rivers Stadium, one of the many of the 1980s, 70s, and 80s cookie cutter stadiums that there were. As you know, a number of these stadiums actually all look the same. Three Rivers Stadium, Riverfront Stadium, the Veterans Stadium, Three Rivers. I'm sure I'm missing Bush Stadium, RFK Stadium. They all pretty much looked a lot like pretty much a round bowl with that lousy artificial turf infield. Okay, where the ball just bounced all over the place. So, Three Rivers was one of those parks, and for here. So we played at a lot of cookie-cutter stadiums back in the day. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Mets. You're going to have Len Dykstra. We're utilizing, as I said, we're using the actual lineups for April 8th in that game against the Pirates. So, Dykstra will bat first, followed by Backman. Hernandez will bat third. Carter will bat fourth. Darryl Strawberry leads off, will be the fifth batter. George Foster batted sixth in this game. Howard Johnson batted seventh. Rafael Santana batted eighth. And the starting pitcher for the Mets today will be batting ninth, will be Dwight Gooden. Let's take a look at the outfield for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It will be Sid Bream at first base, Johnny Ray at second. We have Sam Khalifa at shortstop. Jim Morrison will bat third. In left field, Steve Kemp. Joe Orsulak at center field. R.J. Reynolds in right. Behind the plate is Tony Pena, and a pretty good catcher, actually. And on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates will be Rick Russell. He had a 3.96 ERA, 9 wins and 16 losses in 1986. We go to the top of the first, and leading off for the Mets will be Lenny Dykstra. And we're just going to call for a hit here. And Dykstra hits one to center, and Orsulak is going to bounce off the wall, and Dykstra is going to have himself a stand-up double. So that's a nice way to start the season off for the Mets here. Next up will be Wally Backman, batted .320 in 1986. He had only one home run, though, so who knows when we'll see that. Here's the pitch to Backman. Backman grounds one to Khalifa at short. He throws to first, and that looks like he's got the out. And Dykstra holds at second base. Here's Keith Hernandez. Again, as I said, why he's not in the Hall of Fame, I really don't know. He batted .310 that year. He had 13 homers, 83 runs batted in. We're just going to go ahead and call for the hit. Hernandez lifts one to right field, but R.J. Reynolds is there. Dykstra has to go back. And no, we're not going to send Dykstra third. And that will bring up the kid, Gary Carter. Batted .255 that year. He had 24 home runs. Runner on second for the Mets. Here we're going to call for the regular hit. Here's a fly ball to right. Reynolds will make the catch. So the Mets strand one on base, and that's the end of the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. Mets 0, Pirates coming up. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Pittsburgh. It will be Reynolds batting first, followed by Orsulak. Ray will bat third. Bream bats fourth. Kemp will bat fifth. Tony Pena, the catcher, will bat sixth. Morrison will bat seventh. Sam Khalifa bats eighth, and Rick Russell will bat ninth. Taking a look at the starting outfield for your friends and mine, the New York Mets. We have Keith Hernandez at first base. Wally Backman at center. Rafael Santana at short. The third baseman for this game is Howard Johnson. We have George Foster in left. Lenny Dykstra in center. Darryl Strawberry in right. The kid behind the plate, Gary Carter, and on the mound is Dr. K, Dwight Gooden. 2.84 ERA that year, 17 wins, 6 losses. He was coming off an awesome 1985 season. The question is, can Dwight Gooden do that again for this coming 1986 replay here on Action PC Baseball. Let's see what happens. Batting first for the Pirates will be R.J. Reynolds. And it starts with a leadoff walk. So R.J. Reynolds will go to first base. And that will now bring up Joe Orsulak. Reynolds definitely a stealing threat. Well, we're just going to go with a regular pitch here. And it looks like it is and Reynolds is going to steal, and he's going to get the stolen base. That's the first steal for Reynolds in this game. So Reynolds is on second after a stolen base. Orsulak still at the plate. And he grounds one right back to Carter at the mound. Carter's going to throw him out at first. And that is a ground out. Reynolds moves over to third. Now batting for the Pirates will be Johnny Ray. The infield will stay normal. We'll probably allow the run, we just need to get the out. Here's the pitch. Ray hits one into the outfield. That's going to be a base hit for Ray. He will get to first base. Reynolds will score, and the Pirates get off to an early 1-0 lead. Here's Sid Bream. Bream batted 268 for Pittsburgh that year. And we'll see if Dwight Gooden get. Man is still on first. Ray, 51% chance to steal, but here's the pitch. And here's a steal attempt, but Ray this time is thrown out. Gary Carter gets Johnny Ray out at second on a stolen base attempt, and that will now be 2 outs. Bream still at the plate. And he popped it up. Santana drifting out. It's a high ball. Can Santana pick? Can he get it? He does. And that ends the inning. At the end of 1, it's Pirates 1, New York Mets nothing. We go to the second. Darryl Strawberry leads off for New York. Strawberry lifts one to right. But Reynolds is there. 1 out. Here's George Foster. Batted .227. 13 home runs. Foster was supposed to be maybe the Mets' big thing in 1986, but he really didn't turn out to be what all Mets fans wanted. He really underachieved that year, coming out from the Reds. But Foster will draw a walk, so the Mets get a man on first, and now we will see Howard Johnson, batted .245 in 86, 10 home runs. Foster definitely not a threat to steal. So I'm going to let Johnson just hit. He grounds one up the middle. He gets one, throws to first, and he is not safe, not in time. So Howard Johnson legged it out. And now we will see Rafael Santana, batted .218 in 1986. He had only 1 home run. Johnson on at first, Santana at the plate. Here's the pitch. Santana hits one. Great play by Johnny Ray, who gets him out, and that retires the side. Another runner left on base, bottom of the second. It will be Steve Kemp batting for the Pirates. Gooden wheels and deals, and he grounds one up the middle. Backman's got it and throws him out. And that's 1 down. As I said, we got some light rain here at Three Rivers Stadium. 61 degrees. Kind of mild. 7 miles in is the wind. Here's Tony Pena. And he lifts one to left. But Foster's got it for the second out. And now we will see Jim Morrison. Morrison grounds one to Johnson. And he whips. And he is... Morrison is safe at first. It was a low throw. Hernandez couldn't dig it out. And now we'll see Sam Khalifa. Morrison, 49% chance to steal. I don't see much of it really happening. Gooden's going to go ahead and try to pitch to Khalifa. He hits one into right field for a base hit. Morrison on his way to third. He'll get there. So Khalifa lines a base hit to the right side. Strawberry tossed it back in. The Pirates have runners at first and third, but the pitcher is up, Rick Russell. And Gooden strikes him out. And that ends the inning. So two runners left on base for the Pirates, but it's still Pirates 1, Mets nothing. We go to the third. Leading off for the Mets will be Dwight Gooden. He batted .086 that year. No home runs that season. He had 4 runs batted in. Not one of his better hitting years that Gooden had while he was in on that team. Here's the pitch from Russell. Gooden lifts one to right field. Reynolds just puts it away. And Reynolds makes a diving catch. So he caught it for the out. And there's one down. Now we go to top of the order, Dykstra, who is 1 for 1. Dykstra grounds one to Khalifa, and he's going to throw him out at first base as Bream makes the play. 2 down now for Backman. And Backman's going to draw a 2-out walk by Russell. And now the batter is Hernandez. Hernandez 0 for 1. Struck out his last time. Struck out. No, I'm sorry, he was 0 for 1. Backman on it first. And here's the pitch to Hernandez. Hernandez hits one into center field, and that is going to drop for a base hit. Backman's going to go to third. So Hernandez comes through with a nice hit. It's a blooper to center. Orsulak got it and tossed it back in. So runners at first and third now with 2 outs, and here comes Carter. Carter 0 for 1. Russell winds up. Here's the pitch. Carter grounds one through the infield for a base hit. Hernandez will go to third. Kemp tosses it back in, and the Mets have tied the game up. So Gary Carter picks up an RBI, and the batter now is Strawberry. Strawberry 0 for 1. Runners still at first and third. Can Strawberry come through with the big hit? He hits one to right. Reynolds going back for it, but he's got it. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. After 2.5, the Mets and Pirates are tied at 1, bottom of the third inning. It will be R.J. Reynolds leading off for the Pirates. The pitch from Gooden, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Gooden. He had 200 strikeouts in 1986. Here's Orsulak now. And Orsulak is hit by the pitch, and he's going to go to first. Orsulak definitely a threat to steal, 79%. He tried to get out the way, but it looks like he couldn't just get out of there. It'll bring up Johnny Ray with a runner on first base. We try a pitch out, Orsulak running, and it's going to be an error. It's going to be an error because the throw went into center field, and Orsulak will end up at third, and that's an error on Gary Carter. They had the pitch out, and it was right on the money, but an error by Carter, and Orsulak will go to third base, and with 1 out, and Ray is still at the plate. Calling for infield norm. We're going to try to pitch around, see if we can get Ray to chase. And it's a walk. So Ray will go to first. Runners at first and third with 1 out. And now here's Sid Bream. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Bream grounds one to Backman. Throw home, out chance, nope. We're going to throw to second, get the force, throw to first. And did we get the double play? Yes, we did, and they get that and gets Gooden out of the jam. And the side is retired. Double play, and we're still tied at 1 as we go to the 4th inning. George Foster leads off. Foster lifts one to left. Kemp should get it, and he does. 1 out. Here's Howard Johnson, is 0 for 1. Johnson grounds one to Khalifa at short. It's a poor play by Khalifa, and is Johnson going to get there? Yes, it's going to be safe. You didn't get him, and it is a base hit for Johnson. So Johnson is on at first, and now Santana, who's 0 for 1. With Dwight Gooden batting up, you're going to let Santana hit away. Santana hits one to center, and Orsulak makes the play. And that That's the second out, and now Gooden will get a chance to try to maybe make a good, clean hit here. Gooden grounds one to Ray. He's got it, throws, and that should end the inning right there. A poor play, but the Mets do not get anything. They've now left 5 men on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still tied at 1. Steve Kemp, the batter for the Pirates. Strikeout as Gooden gets him swinging, and that's the third strikeout for Dr. K. Here's Tony Pena. Pena grounds one to Santana. It's a great play by Santana. He'll throw to Hernandez and get him out. Two men down for Jim Morrison. Morrison hits one through the infield. That's going to go to the wall, and Morrison's going to have extra bases. It's a stand-up double. And that will bring up Sam Khalifa. And they're going to intentionally walk him and bring up Rick Russell. Rick Russell did bat 157 in 1986 for the Pirates. He had 6 RBIs. So it might be a little difficult for me to do that, but I'd rather take my chance with a pitcher than Sam Khalifa. Dwight Gooden winds up. Here's the pitch. It's grounded to Hernandez. Nope, it was a ball downstairs. Carter fires to first. Khalifa got back to the bag. The pitch again. Grounded right back up the middle. Backman over to Hernandez, and once again, Dwight Gooden gets out of the jam. Four innings of play are done here. Still tied at 1. We go to the top of the 5th. This is April 8th, 1986. New York Mets at Pittsburgh. It is opening day for the Mets and the Pirates. This was the only game of the 3-game series they would originally play, as the rain pretty much canceled out the rest of the series. These two would have a few doubleheaders down the road. Here's Lenny Dykstra. Rick Russell has given up 4 hits, 2 walks. Dykstra hits one to center field, but Orsulak has got it. 1 out. Here's Backman. Backman 0 for 1 with a walk. Strikeout. Backman goes down. 2 down now for Keith Hernandez. Hernandez hits one, and that is going to be a base hit. Hernandez will stay at first. It's a hit for Hernandez as Reynolds fired it back in. And so now with a man on first, here's Carter. Carter 1 for 2 with an RBI. Can Carter come through with a big hit? Nope, he strikes out, and that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 1. Dwight Gooden has made 71 pitches so far. Here's R.J. Reynolds, who will lead off for the Pirates. Strikeout, and that is the 4th strikeout for Gooden. And now Orsulak. Orsulak having a pretty good game. Orsulak having a pretty good game. He did get it. He did have a stolen base, and he did on base, and he was hit by the pitch last time. Here's the pitch to Orsulak. Orsulak grounds one to Gooden, and Gooden gets him out at first. Two men away now for the Pirates, and now we'll see Johnny Ray, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI. Ray, and that is going to be Strawberry dive out, chance 62. No, I'm going to go ahead and make the play. And Strawberry takes on the short hop. It is a base hit. So a runner on first now for Sid Bream. Bream was batted .268 in 1986 for the Pirates. But Bream is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Gooden. And it's a steal attempt, and Johnny Ray is safe. Second stolen base for the Pirates in this game. Bream still at the plate. That's the first steal for Ray. Here's the pitch. Strikeout. And that ends the inning. We've completed 5. The Mets and Pirates are tied at 1. We're going to go to the 6th. 6th inning. Leading off for the Mets will be Darryl Strawberry. He's 0 for 2. Strawberry hits one to center. Orsulak's got it, and that's one out. The Mets have committed 2 errors in this ballgame so far, but yet we're still tied at 1. Here's George Foster. Foster hits one into left field, and that's going to be a base hit, a poor play made by Kemp. Kemp had to toss it back in, but a good play and a good hit by Foster puts him on first. And now here's Howard Johnson, who's 1 for 2. Johnson pops this one up, and it is going to be caught by Breen. And there's 2 men down, and now we'll see Rafael Santana, who's 0 for 2. Santana hits one to center, but Orsulak's got it. So 1 runner on base, but the Mets can't get it done. New York Mets 1, Pittsburgh 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Dwight Gooden has made 88 pitches. Got to remember, this is 1980s. This is 1980s baseball. Pitchers didn't just get out after 100 innings pitched. Leading off for the Pirates will be Steve Kemp. Just making my throws. Kemp hits one to center, but Nails has got it. 1 out. Here's Tony Pena. He's 0 for 2. Pena grounds one to Howard Johnson, and Johnson fires. I believe he looks like he got him. And he did. That's the 2nd out. And now Jim Morrison coming up. 1 for 2 is Morrison. Gooden going after him. And that's a strikeout. So Gooden picks up his 5th strikeout. And that retires the side. Still tied at 1 here at a kind of a damp Three Rivers Stadium. We go to the 7th inning. Dwight Gooden is scheduled to start. His estimated pitch count is 125. And I'm going to let Dwight Gooden try to go for another inning, so I'm going to let him hit. Gooden tries one to Khalifa, and Khalifa punches him out at first base for 1 out. Here's Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra 1 for 3. Dykstra hits one to left, but Kemp's got it, 2 down. Pretty good pitchers duel between Dwight Gooden and Rick Russell. Here's Wally Backman. Backman hits one into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Orsulak tosses back in, so again the Mets get another base runner. So runner on first now for Keith Hernandez, who is having the hot hand. He's 2 for 3. Backman on at first. 2 men out. Can Hernandez come through with a big hit? And Pena's going to go talk to Russell. Hernandez grounds one to Bream. Bream will take it himself. And again, another chance for the Mets goes by the board. We go to the bottom of 7th, still tied at 1. Sam Khalifa will lead off for the Pirates. He's 1 for 1. Gooden seems strong. And I think we're going to have a pinch hitter, and we do. So coming on to pinch hit for the Pirates will be Bill Allman. Allman batted .219 in 1986. He had 7 home runs and 27 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Allman. Allman grounds one to Santana, and he gets him out. 1 down. Here's Rick Russell, and it looks like the Pirates are going to do the same thing as they expect him to stay in the game for maybe another inning. And nope, they're going to have a pinch hitter. So Mike Diaz will now back to Pittsburgh. He batted .268. He had 12 home runs. Here's the pitch to Diaz. Diaz grounds one to Johnson and throws him out at first. And that's the 2nd out. 2 men down now for R.J. Reynolds. Orsulak on deck. Reynolds is 0 for 2. Probably Gooden's last inning. Reynolds grounds one, foul. Reynolds still at bat. Here's Gooden with the pitch. Reynolds pops it up. Looks like Backman's going to try to get to it. It's going into foul territory, but Backman's got it. And the side is retired. 7 innings of play in this pitcher's duel. The Mets and Pirates tied at 1. Top of the 8th inning, Gary Carter will lead off, and new pitcher for the Pirates is going to be Cecilio Guante. You gotta love Cecilio Guante. You gotta love baseball names, people. I don't care what anybody says. Baseball has the greatest names in history, and Cecilio Guante has got to be one of them. In 1986, he had a 3.35 ERA. He was 5-2 with 4 saves. So let's see now if the Mets can take advantage of the bullpen. Gary Carter is the batter. Here's the pitch. Carter hits one to Kemp, but Kemp's got it, 1 out. Here's Strawberry. Strawberry 0 for 3. Strawberry hits one into the outfield. That'll be a base hit. Strawberry going for 2, and he's got it with a double. Strawberry hit the dirt, but gets in there, so the go-ahead run is at second base. Nice hustle by Strawberry. We'll now see Foster, who's 1 for 2. And I think you let him hit. Foster hits one to left, down the line to Kemp, and it is out of here! George Foster smacks one out of here. Maybe he didn't do it in the regular season, but in this game, he certainly did, as George Foster picks up his first home run of the year, and the Mets take a 3-1 lead. That was his first hit that was his first homer of the season, measured about 396 feet. So Cecilio Guante comes in for the Pirates, but George Foster took him deep. 3-1 now, and the batter now is Howard Johnson. 1 for 3. And that's a walk. So Johnson will go to first, and we'll now bring up Rafael Santana. We'll definitely see a pinch hitter in for Gooden. So if you're Santana, I think you could probably could bunt this to move Johnson over to second. Here's the bunt. Johnson going to second, and he's going to be safe there as Santana will get the sacrifice. But now with 2 men away and another run on second base, we'll see a pinch hitter. Now let's see. Let's see how we do this. As I said, I'm still getting kind of used to the system of the game. But I'll bring in Danny Heap to pitch hit. Danny Heap was, I would like to say he was an unsung hero. Danny Heap only had 195 at-bats, but he did bat 282, and he had 5 home runs. He was definitely much better against right-handed hitting. He batted 295 against the righties, only 083 against the lefties. So Danny Heap is my left-handed pinch hitter for this game. The Mets have a 3-1 lead. We're in the top of the 8th. Can Danny Heap come through with a big pinch hit? And they'll intentionally walk him, so I go through all of that for nothing, and now we'll bring up Lenny Dykstra. And I'm a little concerned about that, but we'll see if Dykstra, who batted 314 against right-handers. Here's the pitch to Dykstra. Pena's going to go up to him, talk to him. There's the pitch, and it's a walk, and the bases are loaded. So Cecilio Guante comes in there, gives up 2 runs, and then loads the bases. The Pirates will now bring in Pat Clements. Pat Clements, 2.8 ERA in 1986. And now you got Wally Backman, who bats 340 against right-handers and 192 against lefties. So the bases are loaded. A chance for the Mets to really put a control on this game. Getting the sign. Here's Backman. There's the pitch. And Backman grounds one to Ray. And Ray's gonna... Is he out? Could be close, but I think he got him. And he did. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors after 7.5. The New York Mets now lead Pittsburgh 3-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. We're going to see 2 lefties, so I'm going to bring in Orosco. So coming on to pitch for the Mets will be Jesse Orosco. And yes, people, they still haven't found his glove yet. Orosco in 1986, 2.33 ERA, 8 wins, 6 losses, 21 saves. He had 62 strikeouts. The only issue a little bit about Orosco is a 1.222 WHIP, which is how I really look at relief pitchers. Relief pitchers, starting pitchers are going to give up hits. We know that. But relief pitchers need to keep the hits down. So Jesse Orosco usually gives up at least 1 hit per inning. But leading off for the Pirates will be Joe Orsulak. Pitch from Orosco. And he hits, and there's your hit. It goes right to George Foster. So Orsulak gets that hit. There's your base hit. Foster retrieves it, tosses it back in, and now we'll see Johnny Ray. And he is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Here's the pitch from Orosco. And he walked him. So Orosco comes in, and now runners at first and second, and still nobody out, and now Sid Bream the batter. Bream still at bat, Bream at bat, runners at first and second, nobody out. Here's the pitch to Bream. Bream grounds one to Backman. He gets 1. Will they get 2? Yes, it's a double play. Orosco gets a little bit of a jam there. 2 outs now. And the batter is Steve Kemp. Question, do you put the tying run on base? But Kemp only batted 188. I think you pitched to Kemp. Here's the pitch. And we're going to see a pinch hitter, and it's going to be Rafael Bellion. So Bellion will come in to pinch hit. And I'm going to do my own pitching change. And I'm going to bring in McDowell. So coming on to pitch now for the Mets will be that prankster in the dugout. Roger McDowell will get his first look. 3.02 ERA. He had 14 wins, 9 losses, 22 saves, a 1.164. The thing about that, 14 wins. You know, that just tells me that every time that Roger McDowell was the winning pitcher when the Mets were either tied or behind. That's huge. But here's Rafael Belliard, the pinch hitter, and McDowell with the pitch, and he hits one to Johnson, who throws to first, and Roger McDowell gets the jam out of the jam, and the Pirates fail to score. We go to the top of the 9th, still 3-1 Mets. Keith Hernandez will lead off. Pat Clemens still the Pirates pitcher, and Hernandez draws a walk. So the Mets will start with a man on first. And now we'll see Gary Carter. Gary Carter, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Here's the pitch to Carter. Carter draws a walk. So I hate to say this, but the Pirates bullpen has absolutely imploded in this game. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Here's Strawberry, 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Here's the pitch to Strawberry. Strawberry hits one into the outfield for a base hit. Keith Hernandez, not much of a... You got to try to score. They'll send the runner home. They will not send him to third. Carter goes to third on the play. Strawberry goes to second, and he is safe. The throw is up the line. It gets past Pena. He is safe, and the Mets now lead it 4-1. Runners at second and third, still nobody out. The new pitcher for the Pirates is Jim Wynn. It looks like I need to change that picture there. Runners at second and third. Nobody out here on the top of the ninth inning. The Mets have definitely done it. Here's George Foster, 2 for 3 with his first home run of the season. Here's the pitch to Foster. Foster hits one to center. Orsulak makes it. Gary Carter's going to tag up, and he will score, and it's now 5-1 Mets. Jim Wynn had a 3.58 ERA, 3 wins, 5 losses, 3 saves, a 1.398 whip. Here's Howard Johnson with a runner on second and 1, and Strawberry on second, 1 out. Johnson hits one into the outfield for a base hit. Strawberry will score, and it's now 6-1 Mets. So the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen has just absolutely totally lost this game for Rick Russell, who is pitching marvelously today. Rafael Santana is the batter. Johnson on at first. Santana grounds one to Allman, who throws to Ray, and Ray over to Breen, and that should do it for the inning. Which I'm happy we actually did, because then I wanted to think about if I had to throw Roger McDowell out there. We go to the 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It's the Mets 6 and the Pirates 1. Tony Pena leads off for the Pirates. A bunch of right-handers are actually coming up. So Roger McDowell should be able to get this inning done, but anything can happen in a game of baseball. Pena the batter. Here's the pitch from McDowell. And he grounds one to Backman, who throws to first and nails him. That's 1 down, and now we'll see Morrison. Jim Morrison grounds one to Santana, and he belts him out at first base for the 2nd out. And now Bill Allman will make his 2nd appearance tonight. Bill Allman batted .219. He had 7 home runs for the Pirates that year. Roger McDowell, here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Allman grounds one. That's going to go into the outfield. So this game is not over yet as Allman comes through with a hit. I'm pretty sure we'll see a pinch hitterman for Wynn. And coming on to pitch for the Pittsburgh Pirates is some guy by the name of Bonds. Barry Bonds. That year he hit .223, 16 home runs, 48 RBIs. He did steal 36 bases, but yeah, Barry Bonds. I don't know. I don't think he'll. And I don't think he'll amount to anything. I don't think he'll never be like his father, Bobby Bonds. He'll never be like his dad. Nah, he's just a kid thinking maybe he can play baseball. He won't amount to anything. Here's the pitch from McDowell. See if we can get this game over. Bonds hits one into right, but Strawberry is there, and that's the game. So George Foster was 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Strawberry was 2 for 5 with a double. Hernandez 2 for 4. Dwight Gooden's going to take the win, and Guante is going to take the loss. So the Mets go ahead and pull it out. Let's take a look at the stats there. So pretty much only Rafael Santana did not get a hit for the Mets. But Dykstra, Backman, Hernandez had 2 of them. Strawberry, Foster, and Johnson each had 2 of them. And, of course, George Foster, 3 RBIs. I'm going to give George Foster the player of the game. So we'll give that to the Mets, who go to 1-0. And the Pirates will fall to 0-1. Johnny Ray was the guy there. He was 2 for 2 with a stolen base. A tough loss and Cecilio Guante will take the loss. He goes to 0-1. A tough loss for Pittsburgh. They were pitching beautifully by Rick Russell. But it just seemed that it just didn't come out to him. Gooden and Orozco did pick up his first hold, and McDowell does get his first save. Rick Russell gets a no decision after pitching 7 innings. He gave up 7 hits, but only 1 earned run. But it just wasn't there for him as Cecilio Guante picked up the loss. Well, everyone, that's it for this opening day game. The next matchup will be the New York Mets taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Until then, I'll say goodbye. Good night, everybody. For this final score, Mets 6, Pirates 1. See you next time.